There are many fascinating countries around the world. Although some countries such as China are very big, there are others that are smaller in size but are still equally important. In this video, I will be talking about 6 different countries that I find really interesting and hope you do as well. Alright, let's jump in. We'll start with the country that I live in today. That's Canada. Founded in 1867, Canada is located in the northern part of North America. Its southern border with the United States stretches some 8,891 kilometers and is the world's longest peninsular land border. Canada's current Prime Minister is Justin Trudeau, who is part of the Liberal Party. The country is composed of 10 provinces and 3 territories: Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador are the most eastern provinces in Canada. Quebec and Ontario are the 2 biggest provinces, and British Columbia is the most western province. Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba all lie in the middle of the country. The 3 territories are the Yukon to the west, Northwest Territories in the center, and Nunavut on the east. While Canada's capital is Ottawa, its 3 largest metropolitan areas are Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. For thousands of years before European colonization, Canada was inhabited by various indigenous people. Canada was formed in 1867 with the union of 3 British North American colonies and Confederation. A multitude of languages are used by Canadians, with the official languages being English and French. Although English is more widespread, Quebec established French as its official language in the 1977 Charter of the French language. One of the many wonders in Canada's natural landscape are the 5 Great Lakes: Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and Lake Superior. Niagara Falls, also known as the Horseshoe Falls to Canadians, is a group of 3 waterfalls at the southern end of Niagara Gorge, spanning the border between the U.S. state of New York and the Canadian province of Ontario. Canadian cuisine varies widely depending on the regions of the nation. Due to the influence of European colonization, a specific style of Canadian cuisine is more difficult to define. Indigenous food, however, is considered very Canadian. Métis food is especially so since the Métis people play a particularly important role in the origin of Canada and Canadian cuisine. Other foods such as bannock, moose, deer, bison, pemmican, maple taffy, and Métis stew are all either traditional indigenous foods or originated in Canada. Canada's most iconic foods were named in a survey conducted by the Canadian Broadcast Corporation as maple syrup, poutine, and butter tarts. The roots of organized sports in Canada date back to the 1770s. Canada's official national sports are ice hockey and lacrosse. Hockey is Canada's most prevalent winter sport, its most popular spectator sport, and its most successful sport in international competitions. Lacrosse, on the other hand, is Canada's oldest sport. The CFL, or Canadian Football League, is the second most popular spectator sport, with the Grey Cup, which is the championship, being one of the largest annual sports events. Canada has participated in almost every Olympic Games and has hosted several high-profile international sporting events. The largest sporting event hosted by the country was the 2015 Pan American Games. Mexico. Mexico is a country in the southern portion of North America. It is bordered on the north by the United States and to the south and west by the Pacific Ocean. Mexico is the 10th most populous country and the most populous Spanish-speaking country in the world. Spanish is the de facto national language spoken by the vast majority of the population. The federal government officially recognizes 68 linguistic groups and 364 varieties of indigenous languages. It is estimated that around 8.3 million citizens speak these languages. There are also several minority languages spoken in Mexico, such as Low German by the Mennonite population. Mexican culture reflects the complexity of the country's history through the blending of indigenous cultures and the culture of Spain, imparted during Spain's 300-year occupation of Mexico. The origin of the current Mexican cuisine is established during the Spanish colonization. Mexican street food is one of the most varied parts of the cuisine. It can include tacos, quesadillas, pambazos, tamales, mariachis, alambres, al pastor, and food not suitable to cook at home, including barbacoa, carnitas, and since many homes in Mexico do not have barbecue ovens, roasted chicken. Mexico's most popular sport is association football. It is commonly believed that football was introduced in Mexico by Cornish mariners at the end of the 19th century. Baseball is the most popular sport in the north and southeast of Mexico. Bullfighting came to Mexico 500 years ago with the arrival of the Spanish. Despite efforts by animal rights activists to outlaw it, bullfighting remains a popular sport in the country. Almost all large cities have bull rings, and Plaza Mexico in Mexico City, which sees 45,000 people, is the largest bull ring in the world. Next, we fly across the Atlantic Ocean to Central Europe. We find ourselves in Germany. Germany shares borders with many different countries, such as Denmark to the north, Poland to the east, Austria and Switzerland to the south, France to the southwest, and on the west, Luxembourg, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Today, Germany is a federal parliamentary republic led by its chancellor and has gripped power with a strong economy. German is the official and predominant spoken language in Germany. Culture in German states has been shaped by major intellectual and popular streams in Europe. For example, in the German language, the country is known as Deutschland from Old High German, in French as Allemand for the name of the Alemannic tribe, in Italian as Germania, in Spanish Armenia, in Polish as Niemcy, and Saxa in Finnish. Germany is well known for such folk festival traditions as Oktoberfest and Christmas customs, which include Advent wreaths, Christmas pageants, Christmas trees, stone cakes, and other practices. German classical music includes works by some of the world's most well-known composers, such as Johann Sebastian Bach, George Frederick Handel, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and Ludwig van Beethoven. German cuisine varies from region to region, and often neighboring regions share some culinary similarities. Bread is a significant part of German cuisine, along with pork, chicken, and beef. Germans produce their ubiquitous sausages in almost 1,500 varieties, including bratwurst and Weisswurst. Soccer, also known as football, is the most popular sport in Germany. In 2017, Germany's national football team celebrated their most recent World Cup victory. Other popular spectator sports include winter sports, boxing, basketball, handball, volleyball, ice hockey, tennis, horse riding, and golf, along with water sports like sailing, rowing, and swimming. The next country is also in Europe, but a little further west. Although smaller in size, England plays a big part in the way the world works today. With an area of approximately 50,301 square miles, England shares its land borders with two other countries, Scotland to the north and Wales to the west. Together with Ireland, the four countries form the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Geographically, England is still part of Europe. Socially, it is more complicated. This is because England is no longer a part of the European Union after their recent decision to leave it. This was known as Brexit. The country is also bordered by the North Sea, Irish Sea, and the Atlantic Ocean. The largest city in England is London, which is located on River Thames in the southeastern part of the country. England's scenery is full of plains and low hills with uplands and mountainous terrain in the northern and western part of the country. As its name suggests, the English language originated as the language of, you guessed it, England. As well as English, England has two other indigenous languages, Cornish and Welsh. Although Cornish has died out since the 18th century, it is now being revived and protected under the European Charter for Regional or Minority Languages. Due to immigration, it was reported that around 800,000 people spoke a foreign language at home. England has its own and unique culture which sets it apart from Welsh, Scottish, or Northern Irish culture. Humor, tradition, and good manners are characteristics commonly associated with being English. In addition, England has played a significant role in science, drama, literature, technology, democracy, music, and folklore. Many of the world's most important technological advancements and inventions were made in England by English people, such as the telephone, the electric motor, and something that everyone uses every day, the World Wide Web. English cooking has been influenced by foreign ingredients in cooking styles since the Middle Ages. A few of the traditional dishes in England include fish and chips, fingers and mash, a full English breakfast, steak and kidney pudding, pasties, and pork pies. Throughout its history, England has been a major producer and source of musical creation. In the 20th century, influences from the music of the United States became dominant in popular music. Following this was the British invasion, where British rock bands became highly influential in the United States and globally. Music groups like the Beatles, the Spice Girls, Dusty Springfield, and the Rolling Stones became extremely popular in the 60s. England also has a strong sporting heritage. During the 19th century, England systemized many sports that are now played around the world. Sports originated in England include association football, cricket, rugby, club horse racing, and fox hunting. Of these, football is the most popular. It is most notable for the rivalries between clubs and the passion of supporters, which includes traditional football chants. The most successful football teams are Liverpool, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and Chelsea FC. Cricket is also a highly popular sport in the country. England hosted 5 Cricket World Cups, with their latest victory regarded as one of the greatest one-day internationals ever to be played. Tennis was created in Birmingham in the late 19th century. The Wimbledon Championships is the oldest tennis tournament in the world. In boxing, England has produced many world championships across the weight divisions internationally recognized by the governing bodies. Darts is also a widely popular sport in England and is a professional competitive sport. The English also enjoy competitive sailing, floating, and winning some of the world's most famous and respected international tournaments. A little further west of England is a country shaped like a boot. That's Italy. Italy is a European country consisting of a peninsula surrounded by the Alps and several islands. Italy is located in South-Central Europe and is also considered a part of Western Europe. The country's official language is Italian, and about 21 million people use it as a second language. Italy is considered the birthplace of Western civilization and a cultural superpower. Italian cuisine has developed through centuries of social and political changes and has its roots in ancient Rome. The food of Naples and Campania have come to be regarded as quite essentially Italian. Pizza, spaghetti with tomato sauce, and aubergine parmigiana. The country is also famous for its gelato, or traditional ice cream, often known as Italian ice cream abroad, coffee, and more especially espresso, which has become highly important to the cuisine of Italy. Cappuccino is also a famous Italian coffee drink, which is usually sweeter and less dark than espresso and enjoyed by many people around the world. Italy is the wellspring of Western civilization and has been a world crossroads for over 2,000 years. The Italian culture is commonly associated with art, music, and food. Art can be viewed in every corner of Italy, not only in museums, but also in the churches and public buildings. The most famous piece of art is the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel of the Vatican, painted by Michelangelo. When it comes to music, Italy is famous for its operas. Many of the world's greatest musicians and composers like Giuseppe Verdi, Ruggiero Leoncavallo, and Luciano Pavarotti are Italian. Just like in Germany and Mexico, football is a popular spectator and participation sport. Italy has also taken part in all the Winter Olympic Games, winning 114 medals and 577 medals at the Summer Olympic Games. Cycling is also a well-represented sport in Italy. Italians are second only to Belgium in winning the most world cycling championships. Other very popular sports in Italy are basketball, athletics, and boxing. The final country that we'll explore is China. China is a country in East Asia and is the world's most populous country with a population of around 1.4 billion people. It is the third largest country by area. There are as many as 292 languages in China. The languages most commonly spoken are Mandarin, Cantonese, and Taishanese. Standard Mandarin is the official national language of China and is used as a lingua franca in the country between people of different linguistic backgrounds. China also has many beautiful cities, including the 7 megacities. These are cities with over 10 million in population and include Chongqing, Shanghai, Beijing, Gansu, Tianjin, Shenzhen, and Wuhan. Shanghai is China's most popular urban area, while Chongqing is its largest city. Since ancient times, Chinese culture has been heavily influenced by Confucianism. It is a philosophy based on mutual respect and kindness towards others. It was developed to bring peace and stability in society. Chinese culture has long emphasized a sense of deep history and a largely inward-looking national perspective. It managed to retain its unique identity till the advent of Western culture in the mid-19th century. One of the things that China has retained is the use of the Chinese Zodiac. This is a 12-year cycle, with each year in the cycle related to an animal sign. It is believed that the years represented by the animals affect the characters of people, and that are superstitious can bring good or bad lucks for the year. Today, the Chinese government has accepted numerous of traditional Chinese culture as being integral to Chinese society. China also has highly diverse cuisines. The 8 major cuisines that have been the most influential in China's culinary history are Sichuan, Cantonese, Jiangsu, Shandong, Fujian, Hunan, and Hui, and Zhejiang cuisines. China has become a prime sports destination worldwide. In 2008, Beijing hosted the Summer Olympics and will host the Winter Olympics in 2022. Other popular sports in the country include martial arts, table tennis, badminton, swimming, and snooker. I hope you had fun learning about these 6 really interesting countries. If you liked the video, please remember to click the like and subscribe button at the bottom of the video. Thanks for watching!